Welcome to the Discover Universal podcast. Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle. And watch your step on the moving walkway because we're taking you park to park to prepare you for your next visit. Let's Discover Universal.
Welcome to the Discover Universal podcast. I'm Kari, and my favorite smell is the E.T. Adventure queue line.
And I'm David, and I would have enjoyed this podcast more if I'd gotten my cup of coffee!
David, you have a lot of experience with ride dialogue, don't you?
A little bit.
Yeah, I figured.
That's the one that everybody knows, though. All our fans know that line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I bet most of our listeners could probably quote that with you.
Probably.
Hopefully. Now they will. Today we are talking about Universal Studios Florida from right inside the Radio Broadcast Center, inside the park, right here on Hollywood Boulevard.
We're here.
Yes.
We're at Universal Studios Florida. We're talking about Universal Studios Florida.
Love it.
I love Universal Studios Florida. The very first Universal theme park right here in Central Florida. Of course, before Islands of Adventure and Volcano Bay came along a little bit down the road.
That's right. The OG opening in 1990 with amazing attractions, and it really put you in the middle of some movie-making magic.
I don't want to date ourselves too much, but
Yes.
we're not too much older than this park. We've grown up with this park. When I think of childhood memories at Universal Studios, Universal Orlando, this is what I think about. I think about being here at Universal Studios Florida, walking the streets of Hollywood over here with some of those characters from the movies, all the film stars, taking a picture with the giant Jaws shark hanging back there.
So good. I definitely have a picture of me and my dad when I was about 6 with that shark.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I would always, there's like a rope in its mouth, the way it's like hanging up,
Yeah.
and I would always hang from the rope. I got to find these pictures. I got to dig them up somewhere.
I would say that makes me feel old, but instead I'll say it makes me feel nostalgic.
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah.
We got a lot coming up in this episode, so we would love for you to stick around to hear us ride one of our very favorite rides, Revenge of the Mummy. Here's some really cool tips about the park from our VIP experience friend Frank, and just chill in the grandioseness of Universal Studios Florida as we meet some of our favorite characters and just chill around the park.
So again, this episode all about Universal Studios Florida. This is the park that Kari and I consider our home park.
Yes,
When we got
absolutely.
hired here, my first job was over here, Disaster Studios, and yours was as well, I know.
So much fun. Oh my gosh. Great memories from working here and just, feeling like you're part of the Universal magic.
Of course.
Yeah. So one of the choices we have to make that we talked about last episode when we come into a park is what direction we want to go. You also have a choice when you get to Universal Studios Florida. And that classic choice is, do you go to the back of the park first to experience attractions, or do you just stay in the front of the park? David, which is your preference?
Yeah, the park it's more of an oblong
It is.
oval than a clean circle
Yeah,
over
that's
here.
fair.
So you do have a lot of choices.
There's still a central lagoon, of course.
Absolutely.
But where do you like to go first?
I probably follow the route of a lot of our guests. First thing in the morning, we take a beeline all the way straight back to the park.
Yeah.
And even in there's some debate of like, what's the fastest way back? Do you go straight to the right, down Hollywood Boulevard, around Central Park, over the lagoon? Or do you go straight down to the New York streets and pass all that and then up like our San Francisco area? We can figure that out another time. We can
That's
get out the measuring tape, the
What is
pedometer,
faster?
and see how many steps there are.
There are many different journeys, of course, to get to the back of the park. But
Yeah.
what's like the first attraction that you hit when you're coming in?
Okay, I'm going to make a case for that our guests should start in the back of the park when they come here, because I think a lot of my favorite attractions are back there.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a Harry Potter fan, so we have
Awesome.
the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley back there. It's a bit hidden, you're going to walk by, you're going to see a wonderful Londonscape.
Ooh.
Yeah. You have King's Cross Station there.
Yeah, you might
have some beautiful buildings.
You
but
might
then-
hear the sound of bricks moving or something.
listen, if you're in the know, if you're a fan, then you know that there's a special way to enter Diagon Alley.
Ooh.
And in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, it is, of course, you got it just like in the movies. You got to go right through the brick wall. So you make your way through that brick wall, and then the expansive Diagon Alley opens up right in front of you. And it is breathtaking. The first time,
Really is.
if you've never been to the park before, this area, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley, is a game changer. It's incredible. You don't feel like you're in Florida anymore.
Do you remember your first time going into Diagon Alley?
Absolutely.
What was your reaction?
You walk through the bricks, and it's like an involuntary gasp.
Yeah.
Like
Same.
sensory overload. The scale of it is incredible. There's so many colors. There's so many details. All the storefronts, all the signs, and you can't forget there's a giant dragon down there as well.
literally staring at you, breathing fire intermittently at you.
Sitting atop Gringotts Bank.
Yes.
Down there at the end of the alley. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do still to this day is I will enter into the alley and I'll turn around and I'll just kind of watch people come through that brick wall for the first time. You could tell some of the fans, they've been there before. They know what they're doing. They're heading straight to Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Maybe they're going over to the hopping pot for a delicious beverage.
Yes.
But you can tell the fans that this is the first time they've ever entered into the Wizarding World Diagon Alley. It's just a different look. I mean, you
Pardon the
see
pun,
them.
but it is kind of a magical experience.
Yeah.
You can see people's minds blow when they walk in and they're like in the middle of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
It's so much emotion. There's so many memories, so many emotions tied to fans of that franchise.
I would be lying if I didn't say I shed a tear the first time
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I did. It was quite a bit after the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley had opened, and I had heard people say, oh my gosh, you have to go in and we have to film your reaction and we have to get some butterbeer ice cream and it's going to be amazing. And I was like, I hope it's really all that because everyone's built it up. And when I went in, I honestly felt that rush of emotion like you're talking about. And I feel like I was joined by other people and I saw little kids that were like, you can just hear the gasps. You can see their eyes bug out of their sockets. Some of these kids are coming in with their interactive wands and it's a really memorable experience. You will never forget the first time you enter the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley.
Yeah, and you can spend so much time there. There's
Yeah.
so much to do. There's so much to explore. All the different storefronts, they have everything you need. If you were going to school at Hogwarts,
Of
you
course.
can get your robes at Madame Malkin's. You get your school supplies. You get your wand, of course, at Ollivander's.
The Ollivander's wand experience is an interactive sort of almost show. And the interactive wand creates magical experiences all throughout Diagon Alley. There are interactive spots that you can use those wands and really conjure magic.
Yeah, it maybe should be like one of your first stops if you are heading into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yes.
Either at Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, because once you do get that interactive wand, you can use it in the windows, in the storefronts, all over the land, and practice spells yourself. And of course, I mentioned it before, but the main attraction over there is, of course, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts.
That's right.
You can't miss it. It's the giant Gringotts bank with the dragon on top breathing fire. It is a very exciting attraction, very exciting ride through the bank vaults of Gringotts. So you climb aboard a mine cart. You're being led through the bank vaults by one of the goblins that work there, of course. And you actually get to go through a lot of the iconic vaults and areas deep underground in Gringotts Vault. It's a really exciting ride. It's sort of a mix between a 3D motion ride. There's some roller coaster elements as well. It can get pretty thrilling.
Now, David, another attraction in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is the Hogwarts Express.
I know it well.
Oh, right there in King's Cross Station in London. You can take a trip across the English countryside. You pass these amazing characters and landmarks from the stories, and then you arrive at Hogsmeade Station in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade in Universal's Islands of Adventure. Now, you will need to have that park-to-park ticket to experience the Hogwarts Express since you'll be going from Universal Studios Florida to Islands of Adventure. So make sure you have those tickets with you if you want to hop on board.
Honestly, my favorite part, going from King's Cross Station in Universal Studios Florida, there's a little cafe, a little storefront stand in there that sells drinks and snacks.
Yeah.
You can actually enjoy a drink, enjoy a snack while you're riding the train over to Islands of Adventure.
Of course. That's a really great little hidden gem. I love that.
Sure.
Yeah, but we will get into that in future episodes.
We could spend a whole episode on the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and we definitely will down the road.
Hopefully we do. Okay, so you're a back of the park attraction.
We're still in the back of the park.
Okay.
I've only, we haven't even gotten past the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley in the back of the park.
Yes.
Of course, another big one, another one of my favorites, Men in Black Alien Attack.
I love Men in Black Alien Attack.
Super fun ride. It's like an interactive kind of a shooting gallery type ride. Yeah, you become an agent of the Men in Black.
Of course.
You're riding through all these amazing scenes full of aliens blasting away, trying to outscore your friends, your family, sitting alongside
That's
you.
my favorite part
The
about Men in
competitive
Black
aspect.
Alien Attack because it's a competition.
Yeah.
And you get bragging rights for the rest of the trip if you outscore everybody in your party.
We're
It's
going to
the
have to
best.
ride together and see who gets the biggest score.
Honestly, I talk a big game, but I'm probably not very good at it. I think I'm too excited, looking around and being like, look, an alien, look, an alien. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I have to shoot it because I have to get points.
I know some of our guests pride themselves. They can max out the score every single time. I don't think I ever have. I've never maxed out the score.
There are hidden hacks of how to max out the score. I don't know what they are.
Neither do I.
Maybe we need to talk to our VIP experience friend.
Yeah, we will ask him about that for sure.
Yeah, I bet Frank's going to have some ideas about that.
So after Men in Black, I'll continue my way around the lagoon back towards the front of the park. That's why I'm working my way forward.
Sure.
And then as we pass Kid Zone, I always have to go over, pay homage to E.T. and the E.T. Adventure Ride. It's so much fun.
Ton of fun.
Yeah, it's a great family ride. You're riding the bikes right along with E.T., flying through the night sky, even visiting his home planet, helping out. You got to help E.T. save his home planet.
Very cool.
It's super fun. Now I've ended up back on my journey back to the front of the park. Usually make my way about lunchtime over in the courtyard in front of the horror makeup show.
Oh.
And I will grab...
Do you grab some Mel's maybe? Get like a burger and a shake or something?
That is a very good option.
Okay.
But my actual new favorite thing, it's kind of came around recently, is the Central Park crepe stand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You are correct. Delicious.
Popped up out of nowhere.
Yes.
And suddenly became one of my new favorites. I guess I don't have a lot of experience with crepes before this. That sounds silly to say.
Not a big crepe guy.
Not a big crepe guy until now. Now, big crepe guy.
Big crepe guy.
Big crepe guy.
And those are big crepes.
They do. So you actually you can watch them make your crepe right in front of you. They have the big crepe maker. I'm sure there's a fancy French name for it.
Crepe
but
griddle.
They spread that batter very thinly out on the griddle, crisps up beautifully, and then they fill it with all sorts of amazing fillings. You can get either savory ones, sweet ones. So they have like barbecue brisket that goes in there. They have like cookies and cream or Nutella versions if you want something sweeter, maybe for dessert. There's even a ton of seasonal options as well. So the menu will change a little bit season to season. So there's always something new and delicious to try.
Keep visiting Central Park Crepes to find your new favorite.
They know. That's how they get you, right?
Very smart.
But it's so delicious. It's just a warm pillow of deliciousness.
Oh, so good.
And then while I'm there, of course, I'm going to go in and enjoy the horror makeup show. You know, especially during the afternoon, middle of the day, it's hot outside. Nothing better than going in and enjoying an amazing air-conditioned show.
Absolutely.
That also happens to be a fantastic show in its own right.
And it's so funny. It's so fun. It's so quotable. The hosts are incredible. They're so silly. There's sort of a makeup creature creator that's in there that shows you the ins and outs of the Universal legacy of horror. You know, Universal kind of created the OG classic monster for films. So they get to show you all the makeup techniques and mask techniques and everything. So it's really fun, but it's also really informative.
And for our families, don't let the name scare you. It is about horror makeup, but it is not a scary show. It's a super funny show. Definitely something the whole family can enjoy. And there you go. That is my case for starting in the back of the park, making my way forward.
Okay, that is very fair. That's a great way to spend like the first half of your day, you know, going all the way from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley. However, I would like to make a case that I think starting in the front of the park is sort of your best use of time. Love going to Despicable Minion Mayhem, where you kind of get to become a Minion recruit. And what I really love about Despicable Me Minion Mayhem is it's kind of an original story. It's an original continuation of that lore that you love. The Minions, the little girls, you know, you got your favorite characters from the movies in there. And at the end, there's a big surprise, a big twist ending, and you're going to absolutely love it. It's a celebration.
It's very heartfelt. I almost let out an audible "aw" when you said Despicable Me Minion. That's my gut reaction. Whenever I see Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, I'm like, oh, it's a very heartfelt.
It really is.
Ride, a great story. Then you get to party with the Minions afterwards.
It is. Ahead on my left side is this beautiful, ginormous, tall, bright red roller coaster called the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. And I do believe it is the tallest roller coaster at Universal Orlando Resort. It is incredible. My favorite part is when you're riding on it. Definitely would recommend front row for this. When you're riding on it, you are going all the way to the top, and it is about a 90-degree angle.
Going
straight
up.
Exactly.
Straight up.
Straight up. So the best part about being in the front row is there is nothing ahead of you but hopefully blue sky as you crest over this ginormous hill and then have the ride of your life on the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. And the coolest thing about that is you get to DJ your own ride experience. Ooh. So you can pick, like, David, like, what's one of your favorite genres of music?
I like kind of rock music.
You like
rock?
Rock?
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. You got to get pumped, got to get that adrenaline flowing.
Hopefully you're holding on tight because it is the ride of your life, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. And the coolest thing is it kind of twists and turns through some other attractions. Because it's so tall, you get like a bird's eye view of the entire park, actually really the entire resort. So it's really nice to get up there and check it out.
That's a great point. You go right through one of the facades next to Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon.
That's right.
You end up right there on the street at Universal Studios. You come all the way back. The end of the ride is kind of looping around over there in City Walk.
Yep.
So you can see that out there as well.
Gorgeous.
Little tour of of Universal at the front
That's
of the park.
right. From the air, an airborne tour. And then by the time you have gotten off Hollywood Rip Ride Rockets, it's time for lunch, you know? And the best place, as far as I'm concerned, to go to lunch here at Universal Studios Florida is Universal Studios Classic Monsters Cafe. Now, I am not a vegan or vegetarian, but I do think that there are some really cool plant-based options that we have here in the park, and the Classic Monsters Cafe is certainly one of them. They have a barbecue jackfruit sandwich, and as part of the mummy combo or the mummy platter, you can get this barbecue jackfruit sandwich. Have you heard of barbecue jackfruit, David? You're shaking
I've heard
your
of
head.
barbecue. I've heard of sandwich.
Okay.
I'm less familiar with the jackfruit portion of this.
Jackfruit is like, it is an actual fruit, and like the pulp of the fruit has the consistency of pulled pork.
Oh, wow.
So like texture-wise, you'd think that you're eating a barbecue pulled pork sandwich, but it's completely vegan. And it is scrumptious. It comes with a slaw. It's on like a potato Kaiser roll. You can get a side. They have some Franken mac and cheese that's off the charts. Highly recommend making your way to Universal Studios Classic Monsters Cafe for some lunch. And then you can continue your journey around New York. Like you said, Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon is ahead on your left side. That's a really cool ride. That's one of our newer attractions. How would you describe Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon?
It's like a motion simulator ride.
Yeah.
You're cruising through the streets of New York and beyond.
Definitely.
Led by Jimmy Fallon, of course, the host of The Tonight Show.
For sure. A lot of fun. Of course, we mentioned Revenge of the Mummy is ahead on your left side in the New York area of our park. Revenge of the Mummy is probably my favorite attraction in the entire resort, including all three parks, hands down.
It's a must ride for me. Every time I
Definitely.
come to the park, I always ride it.
I think that's another one that you see a beeline of the guests coming through the arches that head straight to Revenge of the Mummy. If you are fans of the Mummy franchise, you are going to love this because it gives you a behind-the-scenes look. You know, you get to see some costumes from the movie, some props from the movie, some characters from the movie, and you're immersed in sort of what would happen if there was a curse on the set of creating the Mummy. And as you're riding through this indoor roller coaster, you're kind of seeing the effects of that curse, and of course you come out victorious.
Of course.
Yeah.
We actually got a chance to ride Revenge of the Mummy earlier today.
Yep.
Let's take a listen.
All right, we are approaching the entrance to Revenge of the Mummy. It's quite ominous. We're underground.
We're going in.
Are you insane? Get out of here! The curse, it's real! This whole place is a trap! He's after your soul! Look for the
Silence! With your souls, I shall rule for all eternity.
I think it's easy to see why that's a must ride
Absolutely.
for the both of us.
Oh, it's exhilarating. It's heart pounding. It's a crazy adventure. I love it. Still one of my favorite rides in the entire park. And if you were to go down Delancey Street past that Blues Brothers set on your left side, you would come upon sort of the central location, the central attraction in Universal Studios Florida, and that is Transformers The Ride 3D.
That's right. Who do we get to claim this for? Is this front of the park or back of the park?
I don't know. This might be the meet in the middle of the park
Okay, all
moment.
right.
Because there's a pretty awesome photo op, the ginormous Optimus Prime, the life-size Optimus Prime atop the Transformers building is a sight to behold.
Yeah, and I love Transformers The Ride 3D. You get to hop aboard your very own Transformers vehicle. He goes by the name of Evac, and that's a very appropriate name because you were getting evac'd right out from the middle of a battle between the Autobots and the Decepticons. And the battle unfolds in front of you. You can meet tons of your Autobot favorites, Decepticons causing trouble all over. They're battling for the Allspark.
Yes, it's a pretty high-stakes battle. And at the end, when you leave Transformers The Ride 3D, you can go around the corner and you can actually meet some of those Autobots and Decepticons. I know you can meet Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Megatron. In fact, we got to meet Megatron today. Take a listen.
Hello, Megatron.
I thought that was Megatron.
It was me. I think that's
I
our
don't
cue.
want to suffer the consequences.
That's our cue to roll out.
Okay, he's still looking at me.
You thought his claw grabbed you?
When you put your arm
It was
around me
just
for the
me.
picture, I thought it was
What does that say about my hand?
I don't know, it's cold and clammy.
So that was so fun meeting with the Decepticon. It was honestly a little scary, but also very thrilling.
He got you.
Yeah.
He startled you.
He did, because when
Are you always that jumpy when you meet
I kind
our
of am.
characters out here?
I'll be honest, jump scares are not my favorite thing. So like we took a picture, David, and when you put your arm around me, I thought it was Megatron touching me, and I that's why I
What does
screamed.
that say about my hand? Does my hand feel like a giant robotic monster claw?
I can't confirm nor deny
Do I
it
need
at
to
this
get some
time.
moisturizer?
I guess so. It was hot, okay? I was confused. Sometimes it's disorienting. No, okay, so we're up here, in the middle of the park, and we just went around the corner, and we met Megatron, Decepticon, out there. And as we go towards the front of the park, I know you wanted to make your way back to the front of the park, there is a pretty incredible attraction that we haven't talked about yet that is sort of the crown jewel of Hollywood Boulevard at this point.
Sure. The Bourne Stunt Tacular.
Yeah.
The Bourne Stunt Tacular. It is incredible.
Mind-blowing.
It is next level.
You have never seen anything like this, I promise.
So it also combines with some pretty incredible technology. So the actors are live on stage doing those stunts. They actually have a giant LED screen behind them.
Yeah.
And when I say giant, this thing is huge. I looked up some numbers on it. This thing is 130 feet wide, 28 feet tall, 3,600 square feet. That's bigger than my house. This screen, okay?
Yeah, that's double my house. Unbelievable. And the best part is it puts the audience kind of behind the camera. So they're seeing everything through a very specialized lens. And that's something we've never done here at Universal Studios Florida.
Yeah, the screen and the action on the stage fit together so seamlessly. It lets the audience get transported all over the world following the action as they're chasing down Bourne. I kind of like to say, like, it's almost like your eyes become the camera. And so there's some, like, I don't want to give too much away, but there's like some perspective shifts and some surprises, some little tricks of the camera, tricks of the eye that they do with this incredible technology on stage. And honestly, some mind-blowing moments.
Very cool.
Not overselling it. There's at least 3 moments that will blow your mind, that you will audibly go like, wow.
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 That's amazing.
Not too loud because the show's happening.
Right.
You don't want to be.
You'd be like, wow, that's amazing.
That was really cool. Did you see that? I can't
But
believe
like in your heart, you're like, oh my gosh, that's real. Yeah.
There's so much to do. Very easy to spend an entire day exploring everything here at Universal Studios Florida.
Absolutely.
And of course, as the sun sets, the evening falls upon Universal Studios Florida, the best way to kind of cap off the night is our Universal Orlando Cinematic Celebration. And that's our big nighttime show out there on the lagoon.
It is gorgeous.
It's really nice.
It is incredible, and it incorporates all of your favorite film franchises in the Universal canon. There's a beautiful viewing area right outside Cafe La Bamba that's on the water. You can
Right in
get your
Central
camera.
Park.
Yes, it's gorgeous. You can get your camera ready. You can just hang out with your family, and like David said, cap it off with that ending right in the center of the park.
So the Universal Cinematic Celebration, perfect way to cap off the day here at Universal. There's all these fountains that come up from the lagoon. They project all sorts of movie clips on it from a lot of the franchises that you probably just went on a ride earlier in the day.
Exactly.
So kind of like a little, jog in your memory through the day.
It's a culmination of all of your experiences from the day.
Remember when we rode Transformers The Ride 3D?
Look, it's right there.
We were just there.
It's so good.
They project onto the buildings behind the lagoon. There's lasers. There's pyrotechnics.
There's a beautiful viewing area in Central Park where you can sit down with your family, get your cameras ready, and you can take in the whole experience at the end of the day.
Aw, that's kind of nice. It's a nice way to end the day. Don't make fun of my awes.
I love your awe.
I'm picturing myself there with my friends, with my family, got an arm around them, like, that was a good day. That was a good day.
So we talked about some cool things to ride. We talked about some amazing places to eat, some great entertainment to take in. But on your way out of Universal Studios Florida, there is the iconic Universal Studios store where you can jump in, you can grab a piece of merchandise, you can take a piece of Universal Studios Florida home with you.
Yeah.
So get your souvenir.
You've made a really good case for starting at the front of the park.
I told you. But back of the park is
Do we have an answer? Do we?
I don't know. I'd join you in the back of the park as well. I get it because I love Men in Black, Alien Attack, and of course, Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley.
The front of the park is just so jam-packed with so many awesome things to do. You don't have to choose. That's the beautiful thing. You can do either or. You can go to the back. You can come to the front, start in the front, go to the back. You can go back and forth throughout the whole day.
In fact, you know what? Why don't we turn it over to one of our friends from VIP Experience, Frank? We'll see if he prefers going to the back of the park or the front of the park first.
So it's time again for our segment, VIP Tips.
VIP TIPs.
That's right. And today we have our special guest, Frank from VIP Tours in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Frank.
Absolutely. Thank you for having
Glad
me.
to have you. Amazing. Well, you are the VIP and the resident expert in this room on Universal Studios Florida. And before we begin, we'd love for you to just tell us about yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I recently celebrated my 10th year with the company, so that was really exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, 10 years with the company. I started out at the Men in Black alien attack. I was Agent F, so that was a really great time for a year. I got to do that.
Very cool.
Yeah. A fun fact about working there is it's kind of an unofficial tradition that when you know that your time there is going to be coming to an end. If you haven't already, you need to max out on the ride. So you have to get 999,999 points.
You have to. They don't let you leave until you get the max score.
You can't leave until...
We may need some tips because I love that ride. I love Men in Black Alien Attack. Yes. I don't think I've ever scored a maximum score on there. Is there maybe like a secret tip for our guests?
Oh, yeah. So I'm not the best at it by any means. For me, I can max out normally by the end of the ride. So when you get to the end and you get to the part with the red button and all that, I can typically max out with the red button. So
you need that extra bonus at the end.
Yeah, I need the extra bonus. But the people who are real masters, like they'll try and do it earlier and earlier in the ride. So a good goal.
I like to think I'm good at that. At that ride, I am not. I typically don't even score 100,000 points.
So in addition to the red button, of course, you want to be holding that button at the end of the ride. Really, like when you're coming up to the alien, just hold it down. It basically guarantees that you can get the bonus.
Really?
Unless something goes wrong. Like
steal it from everyone else in the car.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Multiple people can get it. Like it's not a one-person deal or anything.
Oh, okay.
So,
Teamwork.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Teamwork.
So,
everybody, red button, engage.
Red button.
I've always wondered, is there one particular alien in the ride? There's like alien target that is worth more points than the rest.
So you want to aim for the ones that are up high. So up high in the windows, things that are maybe trickier to hit. A really good one is you'll notice kind of a hidden Easter egg in the ride is you'll see there's Frank the dog, like the pug from the movie. He's hiding by one of the newspaper stands in one of the first rooms. So that's a really big target that you can aim for.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I've never noticed that in the ride.
We got to look out for him.
So cool.
Yeah, so that's another big target to aim for.
Man.
Generally speaking, you want to hold the trigger down the whole ride, beginning to end.
Okay.
Because even if you don't hit anything at all, every few shots you'll get more points. So you could hit 0 aliens and you'll get more points. So that works.
I cannot wait to ride Men in Black Alien Attack now with all my tips and tricks.
I'm hitting that minimum score right there. I held the button down.
David, you got 1,000 points. Congratulations.
It's a hard-earned 1,000 points.
You do that
right
in the
there.
bonus, you get at least 100,000. So there you
awesome.
go.
So after your time at Men in Black, where did you go from there?
So then I joined the guest services team at the front of the park.
Great.
So I became a guest services coordinator, helping people out getting into the park, which is cool. That opens up a whole lot of cool opportunities where you get to do, there's field services, which something not a lot of people know is there is guest service locations that are actually out in the park.
Oh,
that
wow.
You can visit. Yeah, and one of them, conveniently enough, is right next to Men in Black in this park. That's the one field location in this park. We also have them, two of them are over at Islands of Adventure.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of those field locations, like in Jurassic Park and Marvel Superhero Island over there at Universal's Islands of Adventure.
And they're also at the Hogwarts Express now, too, which is cool. So lots
We're
of
all about
options to get
convenience
help.
here.
Yeah. So I got to do guest services, and then that kind of opened the door to do VIP tours with Halloween Horror Nights back in Halloween Horror Nights 22.
So are you part of the power walking crew in the morning that goes straight to Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley?
I'll probably divert over to Men in Black first.
Okay.
I'll get to the Wizarding World a little later.
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
He's got loyalty. He's got to show love.
That's right. We do have a little bit of a game that we're going to turn it over to Frank.
I'm nervous.
I know. I am too. So you're going to ask us a few questions, right?
Yeah. So we got some lines from rides, from the lines themselves. And
Okay.
so we're going to kind of test your knowledge and see how you guys do.
We've been told this game is called Know Your Lines.
I don't know if I'm going to be very good at this.
So just to clarify, are all of these from the ride cues themselves? Or just anywhere around the park, on the ride, in a show?
Largely on the ride.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good to know,
Give you a
good to
little bit
know.
of a tip.
That gives us a little more of a chance here.
David's very good at ride dialogue, so I'm gonna be looking to you over here. Okay.
They're not going to be word perfect, though. I mean,
we got this. We got this. Now, here's the question: is this a competition between David and I? Do we get points for this?
So we're gonna do a competition. So I'm gonna try and use my peripheral vision, see who raises their hand first.
All right.
Yeah. So
you'll know that I've raised my hand.
David. Me. That hand is launched into the air.
You just hear the Michael.
All right, are we ready, David?
I'm ready.
All right.
You're going down.
Welcome home. You've.
E.T. Adventure.
Can you finish the line?
Oh. Welcome home, you've arrived.
Perfect. That's
yes.
it. Nice.
For the record, I also knew that one.
You gotta throw your hand up faster. All right. Okay. 1 point for Kari.
Oh man, if these are gonna get harder, I should have raised my hand for that one.
You got this.
Okay.
All right. Next one. Only one thing left to do.
Do you know it? I don't know it.
All right.
It's Hollywood or Pride Rocket.
Sorry.
No, all right, I don't know what it is.
Oh. Wait. Only
Can you
one
steal
thing?
the
One
answer?
thing left to do.
I should read it in authentic voice. Only one thing left to do.
Oh, is it Transformers 3D, the ride?
That was a bad impression.
Oh, no. You gave a very good optimist.
It sounded very optimist.
That's very good. Only
you're a
one
good
thing
optimist,
left to do.
There's only one thing left to do.
Family.
Our producer, Michelle, is trying to give us a hint here by pointing at the palm of her hand. Oh, I got it. We were just talking about it.
What?
Push the red button.
There you go, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's for Men in Black Alien.
There you
Of
go. Men in
course
Black
it is.
Alien.
Yeah, I totally
Push
knew
the
that one. I
red
didn't
button.
need Michelle to just go, push.
Thank you, Michelle, for the
we'll do
assist.
half point.
All right, so that's
That
a point for me.
point goes- well
That's
done.
a full
Half a point to Michelle.
No, that's a full point for me.
And a half a point for an assist for Michelle. Oh, I'm so embarrassed I didn't know that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. All right.
This is how this
We're
is going to
good.
go. All right.
All right, next one.
Okay.
After all, it's the safest place.
On Earth.
There you go. Yeah.
Right? That was Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts over at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley.
All right, so now these are going to get kind of interesting. So, to give you
Oh,
a
they
hint,
haven't been so far.
I thought this was the scary part. Oh, okay.
So-
All right. We're ready.
To give you a hint, so
Yes.
these are going to be attractions that are no longer with us anymore.
Okay.
So,
All right. We're ready.
and we are.
Oh, I know that one.
You got to take it.
Moving on.
That's
Yes.
right.
Disaster Studios.
David said that a time
Oh,
or two.
I probably said that 3,000 times.
Nice work.
I still say it in my life, in daily life. And we are moving on.
There you
That's me
go.
around the office all the time. Never worked there, but I say it all the
Perfect.
time. All right, next question.
Okay.
10 minutes will be.
We'll be shark bait in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you got
Correct.
it. That's right.
And
Our
what
producer
attraction
Michelle
was that from?
approves that. That's from Jaws, baby.
That's right, Jaws.
Jaws, the ride.
I can tie it up.
They call F5 tornadoes the.
Oh, no.
You don't even know. I'm going to let you answer. You don't even know it, and then I'm going to steal it.
The finger of God.
Oh, she did know it.
Yes.
She did know it.
I knew you were going to hit me with a nice Twister reference. That was one of my favorite cue lines and one of my favorite pre-shows of any attraction at Universal Studios Florida.
My friends and I would always
Great
go that
ride.
one. They call it Tornado the Finger of God.
I told you he was good at attraction dialogue, right?
I think we're tied right now.
Are we? Can anyone speak to our point? I have not been keeping track. Okay, EP
Official
Michelle,
scorekeeper.
executive producer Michelle says that we are tied. I trust her. That's
here
good.
we go.
We're making up rules as we go.
It's fine.
Perfect.
I would have enjoyed this interview a lot more if.
I had gotten my cup of coffee. But that's
You didn't
probably.
even wait. You didn't even wait. You were ready.
I was so ready. David, I think we both won, honestly.
It only
all
makes
winners.
sense that you win on your favorite ride.
Oh, it's so good. Revenge of the Mummy's so good. All right, Frank, thank you so much for hanging out with us. But before you go, we do want to ask you some rapid fire question. We ask this of all of our VIPs. So we got to ask you, first question, at Universal Studios Florida, favorite ride?
Men in Black. Men
Good
in
call.
Black Alien Attack.
What is your
Absolutely.
favorite food to eat out there?
The chocolate chili ice cream in Diagon Alley.
What?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's so good. It's sweet, a little bit of spicy. It's really tasty.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone
I know
goes
what
for
I'm doing for
butterbeer
lunch.
ice cream, but they got tons of other good flavors over there.
Last question, front row or back row?
Back row. Yeah.
Why back row?
Normally a little bit of a shorter line and more airtime.
More airtime.
It's all about the thrills.
I think I'm the only person that prefers front row so far in our episodes.
You got to find your fellow front row fans.
That's right. I
There's a
think
lot
I
of
will. I'll
Fs.
find a ride buddy.
Today was such a blast. Thank you so much, Frank, from VIP Experience for hanging out with us. Not Frank the Pug. We should clarify that.
Although that would have been fun. No, it was Frank from VIP Experience. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Frank, and for testing our knowledge of ride dialogue.
That was tough.
He
We're
stumped
gonna have
us.
to listen a little bit closer going forward. I don't want to get stumped again.
I want to get expert level like Frank is.
Yes.
Sounds great. Now, you talked about that you love to start in the back of the park to enjoy some attractions first.
And you love the front.
I do. But no matter whether you start in the back of the park or the front, here are our top takeaways from the episode.
It's our Take 5 Rewind.
Number 1, a must-do is to check out all of the live entertainment that Universal Studios Florida has to offer. So no matter where you are in the park, what land you're on, what street you're on, there is always some entertainment for everyone. There's some musical entertainment, like our Beat Builders. They're a percussion show. We also have Celestina Warbeck and the Banshees. It's kind of a jazz throwback retro show. There's some behind-the-scenes show, like Animal Actors on Location and the Universal Orlando's Horror Makeup Show. There's also some great character meet and greets, and of course, one of our brand newest attractions, the Born Stuntacular Stunt Show right here on Hollywood Boulevard.
Number 2. All right, our hack for the day. We talked to Frank about all the ins and outs of Men in Black Alien Attack, and we learned some things. So if you're trying to get the high score, trying to max out that score, maybe you just want to make sure you beat your family and friends, you get the highest score in your group, you definitely want to hold down that trigger the whole time, get those free points, aim for those aliens above your head. The harder aliens, high risk, high reward, bigger points there.
Very smart.
And then, of course, be ready to hit that red button at the end.
There is a special moment, and you will max out. He said almost guaranteed. I want to try out that and see if we can max it out with hitting that red button. Number 3, Universal Studios Florida is home to year-round seasonal events. So if you're a fan of Halloween Horror Nights or holidays at Universal or Mardi Gras, come back and see us. Depending on the time of year that you come to visit, you might see a very special event. So there's something for everyone.
Number 4. Now, today we mentioned some quick service options that are unique. Some of my favorites, like the crepes. But there's so many amazing places to eat around Universal Studios Florida. There's sit-down table service options that let you just take a break during the day. Slow down, smell the churros, have a delicious meal. We ate at Finnegan's Bar and Grill the other day. It was so fantastic.
Good. Did you see my pot pie?
I did.
It was very Instagrammable.
Yeah.
It was beautifully flaky, golden brown on top, just like the picture.
There's Lombard Seafood Grill. There's the Leaky Cauldron over in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley. So go treat yourself to something special out there.
Absolutely. And our last takeaway is we want you to stay the whole day. Number 5, end your day with Universal Orlando's Cinematic Celebration. David, I know that's one of your favorite shows.
I talked about my emotional moment at the end of the day.
It really is. And it's a great recap, a total culmination of all the experiences throughout the day, all of your favorite film franchises in one really amazing, jaw-dropping show.
And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Get ready for our next episode. We're going to be talking about our 3rd theme park, Universal's Volcano Bay, as well as future episodes for this season, including hotels, dining, special events, and more. Thank you again to our special guest, Frank, with VIP Experiences. Thanks to our engineers, Gil and Art, and our executive producer, Michelle.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us for the Discover Universal podcast. To learn more about Universal Parks and Resorts, head to our show notes for links to our Discover Universal blog for a more in-depth look around our destination. While you're there, sign up to receive emails that will include articles, videos, and this podcast delivered right to your inbox to prepare for your next vacation. If you liked what you heard, leave us a review and don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.